Hey everybody, Frank here. So I recently added a new knife to my knife collection. I did a video back in July showing everything I have, all my knives, and I tried to explain in that video that all my knives have a purpose. This knife here has a purpose that none of my other knives could really fill, and I thought it was important for me to get something that was a good bushcraft knife. So this knife here is a Benchmade Bushcrafter 162, designed by Cybert. So this is in, you can see it there, S30V steel, S30V. So this knife is a stainless steel, which some people gripe about on a bushcraft knife. I personally, I gotta say that some of the things I've put this knife through, like some batoning and some different carving and just bushcraft application, I haven't had any problems with the edge, not yet anyway. I still have to put a lot of miles on it to give my full diagnosis, but I think that this steel is superb. I like the fact that it's full tang. I like the fact that you can see the tang. I like this handle. Some people gripe about it, but it fits my hand really well. I like these titanium O-rings they have in here. It makes the handle, which is G10 scales, permanent. I like this red liner. I like this tinted green too. I just think this thing looks very rustic. Aesthetically, it is an awesome, awesome knife. And if you also just look at that, guys. Look at how thick that blade is. Very durable, made for bushcraft. You can tell this thing isn't simply a hunting knife. I mean, this thing can use as a hunting knife, but it's even more than that. And again, some people do say that this handle with the belly is uncomfortable for them, but it's a knife, guys. I mean, I think this thing really fits well in my hand, and after hours of use, I can't see it being any more uncomfortable than any knife would be after hours of use. The sheath itself, I like it. It's not really complicated. It's a pretty basic sheath. I mean, let me just kind of go through it real quick with you here. So this is, in general, this is a leather, a buckskin sheath. You got real strong lockups here on these snaps. You got a D-ring here on the top if you want to hook up some kind of leather loop that can dangle down a little bit. You have a general belt loop here. Probably put two, maybe a 3-inch belt through here. You have your flint rod. You do have to your flint steel holder, you do kind of have to watch whenever you stick a fire rod down in there though. Fire steel, sorry. This one, for example, is a little bit loose, so what I have to kind of do is I have to wrap it around like so. Kind of go like this in order to get it in there. You can see it's a little bit tight, but it does make it, and that fits pretty well. I like the fact that you can stick your fire steel right on the side. I think that's really convenient. You'll have it. I like the fact that these rivets are very strong. It's just very simple sew job here. I like the Benchmade emblem, the feel, the smell of it. There's an insert in here. I do kind of wish this insert went the whole way down around. It's almost a complete circle, but right here I don't know if you guys can tell, it's kind of cutting into the edge of the sheath. But again, as long as you just kind of watch and you don't deliberately try to pull the knife through the sheath, I don't see that being a problem, especially with that metal rivet right there. The spine of this knife, again, it's very strong, S30V steel. And you can tell that this thing was machined to have a sharp spine so that getting a spark with a fire steel is not a problem. And again, just kind of talking about the contours of the handle, you have these thumb gaps here. I think part of the reason why that was designed, at least one purpose, was just to really make it easy to spark here. So you guys can see, really effortless, to get a spark out with a good fire steel ferrocosium rod here. So you can see it's just very, very, very easy to use. Very nice setup. G10 scales. I mean, you guys know G10 is a material that speaks for itself. Very hard. I do want to say this, when I got this knife, I pictured this handle having a little bit more grip to it. It's not really grippy, so to speak. It's more just hard. But I like it, I really do, and the red liner really just makes it look sharp. It's a beautiful, beautiful knife. Very, very sharp blade. This thing comes from the factory, very sharp, and it hasn't truly lost its edge yet. With all the abuse I've put it through, it hasn't lost its edge yet. So I haven't had to sharpen it. I do want to try and keep it sharp, so maybe I'll put some videos up about the way I sharpen it and what works for me on this knife and what does not. Let's see, one last thing is I want to talk about is the price. So this knife, the price, it's not a cheap knife. I personally bought this knife at Gander Mountain, and I know I got a bad deal on it, so to speak, or not a bad deal, but I didn't get the best deal I could. I bought this knife for $200, and that's MSRP value. So when I got home, I looked it up on Amazon, and you can get it for like about $160. If you're lucky, maybe somebody will have them on Amazon or eBay for $150. But when I saw this knife and I held it, I just didn't want to not get it. I love this knife. I thought about getting this knife for the Spyderco Bushcraft. Truthfully, you can't go wrong with either of those knives, this knife or the Spyderco. They're both great knives for bushcraft. But anyhow, I hope to get some videos up soon of some batoning and bushcraft survival, construction, things of that sort, so that I can show you guys this knife in action. Really just an awesome knife. I like these rings. You can tie this to a spear. If this hand here was the spear, you could use some paracord, tie right through the holes to the spear, and go right for, you know, using some kind of harpoon, things of that sort in a survival situation. Just a beautiful knife. This is one I'll have the rest of my life. I think that's pretty safe to say. So anyhow, I really appreciate you guys watching. And again, there's the Benchmade logo, made in the USA. Another factor I kind of used to differentiate and justify buying this knife over the Spyderco was the fact that it's made in the USA. So anyhow, please feel free to like, favorite, and subscribe. And if I missed anything, please chime in, guys. Thanks for watching.